This episode of The Casual is brought to you in part by Squarespace. For all your website needs, Squarespace delivers it in an all-around package to help you build a beautiful, integrated online presence.
Since the turn of the millennium, the prospect of being a fashion brand entrepreneur has only increased, or at least the interest has only increased. New technologies have made it possible to start a brand with relative ease, and a lot of the old methods have been abandoned by many who would be brand runners, even if those methods are still viable. What's up everybody, it's your boy Reggie Casual, and today we're taking a look at streetwear designers specifically and how you can be a better one if that's what you want to be, particularly in this new age of fashion. So without further ado, let's get it. Streetwear has changed over the years. We know this. It's gone from printed tees to full-on high-end technical design. And because of that, the criteria has changed for many would-be designers. Being a good streetwear designer is purely subjective on the audience you want to attract, but there are ways to ensure you are taken seriously. Like our number one, choose a craft and stick with it. For some of you, you're good at graphic design or illustration, concept design, structural design, pattern making, typography, whatever the case may be. The point is, whatever you decide your craft is, you need to fine tune it, become a professional in that thing before trying to make it into any business, let alone fashion. Learning and understanding your craft shows a level of commitment that many of your competitors simply won't have. And it also breeds confidence in your ability. A good idea with strong ability and skill does go a long way, especially in fashion. Here's our number two, get a better understanding of garment construction and textiles. Now, anybody who has ever went to fashion school will tell you the amount of textile and fabric study is intense. Knowing how something feels, how it's made, and how it falls is a great way to make something unique while at the same time familiar, which is key. Street designers have the added benefit of using a ton of familiar silhouettes due to the style's more populous origins, and simply knowing about textile opens up creative possibilities that you otherwise would not have explored, giving you even more ideas. That sounds simple, but knowing more about actual clothes and how they are made and what they are made with can make you better. Funny that, it's kind of crazy. Number three, get familiar with the programs you will use to digitize your work. Whether it's Illustrator, Photoshop, or CorelDRAW, whatever, you must be versed in these programs if you're going to take a more hands-on approach to design, which many of you probably are. This is not just for graphic prints and color separation for production, but also for flats, tech packs, and patterns. Not everyone will absolutely need a professional level of knowledge in these programs, but if you're able to understand them and use them proficiently, you'll be able to use them more efficiently, effectively giving you time to churn out designs faster so you can conceptualize and compare. And that's like key here, because you couldn't do that in the past. You couldn't conceptualize and compare at the rate that you can today, but with the programs that we have at our disposal, you can. So learn the programs.
In the fashion industry, the competition is fierce and your presentation has to look solid from jump. That's where Squarespace comes in. Beautifully designed templates, easy to use web building tools, and social integration make Squarespace the perfect choice for the budding entrepreneur or even the savvy professional. Plus, by using our link, squarespace.com/thecasual, you could save 10% when you start. So get that business off the ground the right way and use Squarespace today.
Next up, learn to catalog your inspirations. Listen, take pictures. Note movies you're inspired by, books that you've read, collections you peep, everything that gives you ideas, note that down. Having a mood book of inspirations can focus your thoughts and ideas, especially as a creative. The best thing about most ideas is that they can be written down or pasted in something. So the minute you see something, hear something, think something, write it down and catalog it. If you're anything like me, you got 1,000 ideas and thoughts every second. So it's imperative that you make a record of everything. You're a creative, that's what you're supposed to do. Focus your thoughts. But also, our next thing, Don't fall in love with your first draft. You learned this in grade school, right? Teachers always don't fall in love with your first draft. But it's funny how we don't always do that. A true designer is always looking to improve. And half of improving is being critical of your own work. You can't fall in love with something when you first see it. That's nonsense. It's crazy. In order to truly love something, you gotta hate it too. I think it goes something like, you gotta know the bad parts so you can work on those things so you can begin to love it. I mean, that's a word salad, but I think you kind of get it. Don't fall in love with your own legend is the point. Keep drafting and improving. That's what a designer does. But yet another surefire way to become a better designer in general is to study other designers, even ones you don't like or gravitate towards. This is one that fashion design students know. You spend like half your time researching people who did great things before you. And even though it's monotonous and low-key boring sometimes, there's no better way to understand fashion, design, or anything in its entirety. Whether street or high-end, studying others gives you not only perspective, but more ideas. We are all influenced by each other. Everything that you see now is just an amalgamation of what came before. Design is no different. And finally, the last one on this list, accept constructive criticism. You should be searching for constructive criticism like a hound dog. Now, if you hide your designs like the precious, then you're certainly not going to go far as a designer. We need nuanced criticism to become better. And quite often, it will come from peers and people who have a discerning eye. That's key. Communities that don't gas everyone up are also key here. And there are plenty to choose from. So don't be afraid to become a part, and don't be afraid to showcase to people who will actually give you better ideas. You can even join our community on our private Discord, get access to brand building series class, extra episodes, and a monthly webinar via our Patreon. And that has a bunch of constructive critics. They're not gonna gas you up, but actually gonna give you ideas. It's just a thought, you don't got to, it's not necessary, but it is very useful. That being said, becoming a better streetwear designer is no different than becoming a good regular designer. It's essentially the same. You have to want to get better though. And we're here to make sure that you do get better, so you can either join up, showcase, follow, and engage. But most importantly, keep it locked right here for all of your info on international fashion, culture, and business. From Tokyo, it's your boy, and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. And I will see you guys in a minute.